Ew, that place really smells.
I can't believe people swim in that filthy lake, and it's so salty.
No, I've never been out there. Why would I want to?
Do you know there used to be whales out there?
Why don't they just change Farmington Bay into something useful, like a freshwater lake?
Great Salt Lake, it's a dead sea. Nothing lives in there.
What's the big deal about Legacy Highway? We need more roads, and all that's out there is a bunch of swamps.
The bugs out there, they'll eat you alive.
Well, you know, there used to be a huge resort and amusement park on the South Shore.
I didn't think people like me are allowed out there.
Oh, those brine flies, they bite.
What has been so wonderful about Friends is that it has represented a voice for the community that has affected our relationship with the lake.
If we don't all know about Great Salt Lake, how can we be sure to take good care of it?
1% of the entire state is wetlands, and 75% of that 1% is located around the shores of Great Salt Lake.
We went to the Great Salt Lake and got to see birds, and we got to catch brine shrimp and brine flies.
Was it fun? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I'd like to welcome you this morning to the 10th Issues Forum. This is Friends' 20th birthday year, so we're celebrating it in style here.
It was actually through the museum that Friends of the Great Salt Lake was founded. We had had a good series of discussions about issues around the Great Salt Lake, its biology, use of the lake, its interrelationship with humans, and there was a desire in the audience to have a voice in that, to do something about it. I remember at the end of the last lecture, someone leaped onto the stage and introduced a call to action, and it was the result of that that Friends was formed.
Well, Lakeside Learning is an opportunity for the kids to really get out there and fully experience the lake. So it's an opportunity for them to step into a wetland and see what that feels like. Getting them out here to the lake is an opportunity for them to really realize that it's a beautiful place and there's a lot here to offer. I think they have a lot of fun learning about what lives in the lake and having a chance to catch it with their own hands and see what's out here.
We have been involved with the Lakeside Learning since we opened clear back in the early 2000s. We, as a team of fourth grade teachers, have taken our students out every year. The children have loved going out, getting into the water, seeing the animals. Students will come back and express their enthusiasm still for the memories they have.
My affiliation with Friends is that in the late 90s to about the year 2000, I was an elected member of the board. At that time, I can remember the Legacy Highway issue was very much at the forefront of community politics, and I was very proud of the stance that Friends took during this time, basically making the community consider science in the decision making at the time, and as a result of kind of taking a second look at the routing of Legacy Highway, I think everybody would agree that our end result today is much better, and we have kind of a model of how organizations such as Friends can push for science-based advocacy and decision making when it comes to important natural landscape features such as Great Salt Lake.
Before I moved to Salt Lake City, my knowledge of the area was pretty limited. I knew there were beautiful mountains, and I knew there was the Great Salt Lake, but my perception of the lake was that it was a large, stinky mess. I'm Joel Pearson, and for the last 2.5 years I've been collecting samples from the Great Salt Lake and its surrounding wetlands. My research at the University of Utah was related to the Willard Spur Water Quality Study, where we were trying to determine the effects of the wastewater treatment plant on the Willard Spur. There were several days of sampling where the water was glassy and we could see the hundreds of pelicans floating by silently. I really feel fortunate that I was able to spend time conducting research in the Willard Spur. Towards the end of the 2-year project, we began to run out of funds, even though there's still some loose ends to tie up. And the funds from the Friends of Great Salt Lake Scholarship were used to conduct some experiments out in the wetlands that required a lot of travel and a lot of sampling. It allowed us to have a better understanding of how our nutrient amendments from the experiment related to the nutrient loads coming from the wastewater treatment plant. So now that I've completed my master's degree at the University of Utah, I've been applying for jobs in environmental consulting.
When we make decisions about the water quality of the lake, we try to bring in stakeholder input because they know it best. They're the ones that are there helping us do the right thing. And Friends of Great Salt Lake is one of those active partners that keeps us grounded and clear and is holding our hand as we protect the water quality for current and future generations. Thank you, Friends, for caring and being an active partner, and I just want to say happy anniversary.